Hey guys, Rocky with Wild Edge Outdoors. Just working on my truck here. I got this 93 Toyota pickup, bought it a long time ago. But I picked up this Canopy about a year ago. I did have to make some modifications in order to get it to fit really well. And then I noticed that I started getting water inside, and so I found some spots up on the top. There's a seam that runs down the middle, and it seemed like it was coming through there. It's kind of hard to figure out where exactly it's coming from all the time, because there was a lot of this carpet glued on the inside. It would follow the carpet around and it would drip somewhere where it wasn't really leaking, so it was really hard to figure out where exactly that was coming from. Yeah, it's actually kind of a strange canopy. It's got a metal framework, square tubing framework, and it's got, this is actually metal, sheet metal on it. I haven't seen too many of these, and it's steel. Start going through, I started pinpointing a little bit where it was leaking, and as you can see, I've got things kind of apart. These are actually windows and doors, and allows really good access inside of here. But I was getting dripping from right in here straight down, same on the other side, but then it seemed like the inside rail was wet all the time, and I found that we got this crack. It's actually more than a crack right here, and then looking really closely I found some holes in the metal right here. When I started really looking at it, I found that the metal channel framework inside is quite rusted, in fact rusted through in several places. I don't think it's enough to really hurt the integrity of this canopy. Bought new gas struts all the way around. Then I got all new locks for them because the locks didn't work. And then I built this kayak rack, and then I started running some wires for my backup lights. And I've also got a USB port, and I put lights inside. But now after all that, now I find that there's little structural problems in here. So my plan for today, get as much of the rust off as I can inside, and then I'm going to use some Rust-Oleum Rusty Metal Primer and put that on fairly thick. I have to do something with this crack up here. I'm going to sand it all down, see what's there. I've got this JB water weld, and I've used this actually on my boat, and it works quite well. So I'm going to see if I can use that. I do have some fiberglass resin that I can put on there, but I don't know, I don't want to get into too much of that. Also, I took this carpeting out, and this is actually between this metal here and the frame on the inside. So now there's about a 1/4 inch gap right down here all the way along, and obviously this thing was rusting in there. After I coat it with the Rust-Oleum, I'm actually thinking about putting some of that foam sealant in there. I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not, but and then of course when I put this window back in, I'm going to put a nice bead of silicone all the way around it, and hopefully that seals all my leaks on this side. The other side is pretty much the same. I don't think it's quite as bad as this side. That's what we're going to do today, so hopefully things will work out just fine. Well, I got this side sanded down, and using my light from behind, I found I got a little pinhole over here, and I got a whole bunch of problems over here. I mean, obviously the best way to do it is to take the whole thing apart, weld it up, but I'm just not going to do that. I need it to be watertight because I want to sleep back here. But this was my own fault. I didn't look at this thing super close when I bought it. I was more just trying to see if it would fit my truck. But I love the design of this thing, other than the metal on metal and rust everywhere. Other than the rust, it's great. I just love the fact that it's got this metal framework in it, so I can attach all kinds of stuff to it. if it holds up. So I went to the gym to give this stuff time to dry and cure and all that kind of good stuff. And I had an idea while I was there. I got this rubber tape that I actually used to fix some leaks up on the roof. I got a seam going down the middle. It seems to be working really well. It's pretty thin, but it's really flexible. Versatape, it's called. There. If I can find it, I'll put a link in the notes. Anyways, my idea is these couple of places, like over here where I've got that pinhole, over here where I've got all these holes. I'm going to put this tape on the inside to give it some backing. And then I'm going to fill this little area right here with that foam, kind of seal everything up. Then I am going to still try using that water weld on the surface of it. Kind of hit it with everything I got. This is the water weld. It comes in this little tube. It's got a little plastic coating on it. And what it is, it's like a putty, two parts. There's one part in the middle. That's one color, and then the outside is a lighter color. So you just break off a piece, put the rest away so it doesn't dry out. And then this, you just start working it, twisting it till it's all mixed together and it's a uniform color. I did use this on my boat. It worked great. It was below the water line too. Stuff smells bad. Supposedly you can put this on underwater and it will stick and set up. And when it's done, it's sandable. Kind of mash it in there. And then we're going to actually start putting things back together. We'll sand this down, paint it, and hopefully this side will be done tomorrow. Then we can start on the other side. Yay! See you tomorrow. Hey, it's tomorrow, and it looks like everything cured pretty well. This stuff feels pretty hard. Same with the stuff over here. So we're gonna try sanding it now. Let's see how that goes. All right, just got done sanding it. Oh, it looks like it's sanded down pretty good. It's a little lumpy right through here, but I'm not too worried about that kind of problem. I had big cracks in it before and I didn't really even notice it. So it seemed to, looks like it sealed it pretty well, all these holes. But we'll find out later when I test it with water. I used a Ryobi little corner sander. Seemed to work pretty good, 120 grit. So wiped it down with some alcohol. And I should be able to throw a coat of paint on there. And for paint, using Rust-Oleum matte finish. Kind of like this whole gray and black theme I got going here. Didn't do it on purpose, but once it started, I just went with it. Suppose I could actually put my mask on. Alright, we'll let that dry for a while. I think I'll crack one of the garage doors and let some air in here. Yep, now I gotta clean off the edges here of the window so we can get some sealant on there and reinstall that. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the paint to dry. Got a couple of coats on there now. About ready to install the window, reinstall the window. I'm going to put sealant on here after I cleaned off all the old gunk. Instead of just silicone, I found this stuff by DAP. Flexible, all-purpose, waterproof sealant. Stays crystal clear, non-yellowing, clearer than silicone. Wasn't cheaper. It's supposed to be great in cold weather and paintable. So that's what we're going to do now. Put all this stuff on here. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get this in here. Okay, this DAP Ultra Clear, don't use it. It might be great when it comes to keeping water out, but my gosh, it is horrible to work with. Felt like tree sap as soon as I started touching it. And usually silicone, you can wipe it up and do a real nice job on it. It's just gonna look like crap. I hope I can clean it up later. Disappointed, not gonna use it on the other side. Now, I also changed out the screws that held the windows in. They originally had self-tapping sheet metal screws about an inch long. I switched them out to basically the same thing, only much shorter. But neither one of these things seemed to hold very well, so I switched over to a number 8 machine screw with washer on both sides and a nut, and that way I could really tighten the window down good and make sure that everything was going to be sealed, hopefully. Okay, so the only thing I got left, well, the next step I should say, is water testing. I'm going to take it into the car wash, spray it down real good, and then take a look inside, see if I got any kind of water coming in. I gotta scrub it down anyways because I didn't mask off the whole side, so I've got some overspray here, but I'm pretty sure that'll come right off, but what the heck, it's my hunting rig, so on to the water test. Okay, we're at the car wash and I'm ready to give it the water test. I have to admit, I'm kind of scared to do it, just because I put so much effort into this. I don't want it to leak. Here we go. I do see water coming in here. I got drops back here, but it looks like it's the seal over on the window here where you open and close it. Just can't tell. Probably shouldn't have used a pressure washer. I don't know. This is just, it's frustrating, but it's better than what it was up in the front corners. There's no water there. Yeah, it just seems to be like right here, right around where the window was, where the window seals, and maybe even just by tightening these latches up here, maybe I can get rid of that, but I think it's just because I used the pressure washer. Frustrating working with old crap. It's better than it was. Moving on. Okay, here's the deal. I do have some water coming in a few places, but like I said, it looks like it's coming in at this gasket where the window closes. Well, I'm just going to have to admit that this thing is an old topper and it might not ever get perfect. Whenever I find a leak, I'm going to see if I can pin it down. There's not much more I can do with it. And the whole reason I'm working so hard at this thing, trying to get it watertight, is I'm going to sleep back here. I'm going to take this thing out on the road and go do some hunting and fishing before I go and spend $1,500 to $2,000 on a brand new Canopy. I want to make sure I like doing it, and I can see, planning on my bed height being right at the top of these wheel wells, and as you can see, I'm sitting on the floor and I can sit up. But if I put my bed height up here, yeah, I'm not going to have a real good place to sit with head height. But I want to be able to have a little bit of storage underneath, and that's why I want to raise it up. So originally I was just going to throw a mattress on the bed of the box here and call it good, but I can't do something that simple apparently. I gotta make it more complicated. So, and I will take you guys along with me as I build that, and we'll see how it works. And one of these days I'll take you around the truck itself and show you what it is and what I've done to it to get it so I can depend on it. If you found this video educational, informative, entertaining, hit the subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.